How do you think the group did? You generated a pass rush against Baylor.
We did good. I mean, we did good at times. We didn't generate enough, because obviously they threw for a lot of yards. And so, I know we sacked him, I guess, 3 times, and I know we hit him 8 other times. But, he made a couple throws when he got hit right in the mouth, and they wound up being touchdowns. And so, everybody sees the one-on-one that the corner or the safety has, but they don't see the one-on-one that the nose guard has or the defensive end has. He's got to win that one-on-one too and get there quicker. So, like I said, the one-on-one on the back end, it gets exposed. Everybody in the stadium knows, but they don't know about the ones up front. There's one-on-ones up there too. And so when we get them, we got to expose them. And we got to get to the quarterback and get there a step quicker because, like I said, we hit him 2 or 3 times. It resulted in a touchdown on his part. Great job by him standing there throwing the football.
No doubt. I mean, that's just the nature of this sport. You can't sit and dwell. Once you make the corrections on Sunday, you got to move forward. And our focus immediately went to Texas. And, like I said, all the things that you really saw. I mean, if you look at the first 42 points, every single one of them, you just looked at and go, wow. I mean, so it's things that our kids, look at and just go, I mean, they understand. There's no one hanging their head about, maybe it's a blessing in disguise. And I'm going to tell you something, we're a better defense than what people are going to think we are, just because they're sitting there, focusing on the total picture. I mean, like I said, we defended 50 run plays, man. I mean, like I said, it used to be a game, almost. So, I mean, again, our kids were excited. We had a great practice today, and we're looking forward to the challenge that Texas presents.
There were 93 total snaps. They were in there for 91 93 and 92, so they played the whole game.
And how important is the depth? I mean, obviously some of that's going to come down to them just being fatigued and guys taking shots on them.
Yeah.
Did you?
I don't buy it. I mean, just make plays. I mean, that's what training camp's for and spring training is for. To play at a Division I level, I expect our corners to be conditioned and ready to play every week and be able to play at a high level. And so, we're going to prepare that way. Baylor's in the books, and by 10 o'clock on Saturday, we want to be talking about the fact that the corners really stepped up and made big plays.
Do you think you guys might match up better against Texas than you did against Baylor?
From a matchup perspective, both teams have some great playmakers at the skill position. So I don't think there's really a comparison between the two. I do think we'll be prepared to play.
On Saturday, I mean, you guys were close. I mean, you played 2 or 3 great downs, and then it was just one big play. How close were you guys?
Right. Close, and a big play, there's several times where you want to get off the field on 3rd down, and a big play forces you to stay on the field. And so, that's kind of the gist of defensive play. There are times when if you make a play that you're giving 10 guys the opportunity to rest. So we understand that's an obligation that we have, and we're going to work towards make sure that happens.
You mentioned putting it in past that game's over and done with. Is it? I mean, do you talk to these
Yeah,
guys? Do you feel like?
Yeah, I'm saying, there are 12 games on the schedule. If we think about Baylor every day of the week, then we'll be 4-8. So obviously, Mac Brown and the rest of their crew, they don't care about Baylor. You guys won't care about Baylor if we come up with 5 picks. We'll be having a different conversation next Tuesday. So I told them, I said, listen, this is football, and football means that people remember the last thing that they saw. And if the last thing they saw is you making a play, that will be the discussion piece for a week. So you have to go in every Saturday thinking to yourself, what do I want people to talk about for the next week?
The challenge that Texas gives you is multiple shifts. Like every 3rd play, you're going to get tight ends moving, motion, and they try to confuse you with all the movement of their offense, and then they settle down and try to run the ball down your throat. We as a defense have to just let them move. We get set in our ways, we read our keys and go from there, but it's going to be a big challenge.
One of the things I believe you'd said was that you were going to look into maybe making some personnel changes too after last week. Have you decided on any of that, or?
We're still working through that. Okay. We're still working through that. We're going to do some things to hopefully make those players better. That's our job as coaches, is make the players better, and we just got to keep coaching them up. If that's all we have, that's all we have.
Looking at personnel changes, is it any different than a normal week? I mean, the competition that you have in practice, or was there more like a focus on it when you went into practice this week, or watching the film, I guess?
Well, they saw the mistakes on film, and now we have an opportunity to correct them. And as coaches, our job is to show them the mistakes on film. go out and practice to correct those mistakes to get better for the next week. It is what it is. You only have a certain amount of players you can play, and when you run out, you run out. So you got to coach the ones you have and get them better.
At any point, is it a question of confidence when guys do get beat, when guys don't perform maybe to the level you or they wanted for themselves? Do you have to build them back up?
I think that's human nature. Anytime you fail at anything or don't do as well as you wanted to in anything, you get down on yourself. We can't let outside distractions or outside comments deter from what we're trying to do as a defense, and that's get better each and every week and each and every day.